The book Rich Dad Poor Dad has impacted millions of lives worldwide. It is a 6-time New York Times bestseller and written in over 150 languages. The tagline for the book is what the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and middle class do not. We run one of Rich Dad's largest and most active Cashflow clubs. It is a volunteer-run business school that uses simulations to teach investing, finance, and entrepreneurship. And a good morning to you. Welcome to Rich Dad's Cashflow Clubs. In studio with me today is a very, very special guest. His name is Linwald Beharry. He is a legend in the real estate industry, and we've been tracking him down for a while. We heard about him a couple months ago when we made our decision to venture into real estate. And, you know, we've been advised where he was. We tracked him down and we met and we realized, wow, this guy knows quite a bit. He used to have his own TV show called the Real Estate Showcase.
Weekly Showcase.
Wow. And I remember you have a catchy phrase for that show. What is it?
Well, for those of you who remember the show, it was called the Real Estate Weekly Showcase. And you should remember this tagline. Have you thought of buying a home but don't know where to begin? Do you want to sell a home but don't know where to start? Now there's an easier way to track down the lowest interest on mortgage financing and get the knowledge you need to build, buy, or sell your home with confidence. The Real Estate Weekly Showcase every Saturday at 6. So that was the show.
Wow. Well, that I've been hearing about that show for the longest while. A lot of people have been talking about it. And now you have a course, right?
We do a real estate course now that runs for 5 weeks, and we try to train agents or people getting into their first home or people that want to get into development. And it's important to have the right training because unfortunately here in Trinidad we have 3 ways of doing real estate, which is the right way, the wrong way, and the Trinidad way. And let me tell you, the Trinidad way is worse than the wrong way.
Oh, wow.
And it's very dangerous when you are investing your hard-earned money in real estate, and if you don't have the proper guidelines, you can end up losing quite a bit of money.
Even when selling your own home?
Even when you're selling your own home.
Wow.
Yes.
So right now, personal confession, my team and I, we are currently doing his course, and we're in week 3 of the program?
Week 3, correct.
And it is a fantastic learning experience. In fact, we just did week 3 Saturday gone, so we'll be doing week 4 and then week 5 coming up soon. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it is completely life-changing. You know, lots of people are pretty happy that they're doing the course. Everybody in the class is very satisfied. What we're learning everything there is to know about doing business and doing real estate in Trinidad and Tobago.
The right
and
way.
That's very important. The right way, not the Trinidadian way. We learn about the wrong way and the Trinidadian way, but we learn not to do those things. We learn the right way to go about having real estate or to doing real estate development or running your own agency. And just recently we bought this new Remax franchise, the Remax Real Estate Sales franchise. They're number 1 in the world in real estate sales and in the amount of agents that they have. Number one in the world in amount of offices as well. And we just brought it to Trinidad and Tobago. We want to not just create jobs, but, you know, revolutionize the real estate industry. And Linwald is helping us grow. He is guiding us along because, you know, one thing that's very important is having access to mentors. So we want more people to know about Linwald, and we want, you know, of course, we're getting his guidance. So we are a very happy campers. So Linwald, I remember you had mentioned that you're starting this new organization called the First Time Home Owners
Association.
Yeah.
All right. There's a difference between first-time home buyers and first-time home owners. We have over 300,000 people who have applied for a home through the HDC. Mm-hmm. However, the reality of it is that over the last 20 years, all the governments collectively have built only about 18,000 homes.
Wow.
So we have a serious shortage of homes. However, I think collectively, if we can get the first-time home buyers to form an organization, I think we will have a lot more mind power to design programs so that we can get more people into affordable housing, which is a critical factor because we will see more people becoming poor within the next 10 years than we have ever seen in the history of Trinidad and Tobago.
Oh yeah, because of this worsening recession.
The recession, inflation, the price of real estate is going up higher and faster than the salaries are going up. The banks are not helping in any way. We still have a lot of discrimination regarding age at the banks.
Wow.
And the underwriting departments are not taking into consideration that most people today are contract workers and not permanent employees. So it's becoming more and more difficult as land prices go up and the real estate is getting higher and higher. So to try to bridge that gap of getting people out of the life cycle of poverty, they have to get into a property if they are to get out of this life cycle of poverty.
And that's a good point you made, because I get really confused when I meet people who know what we do, know what Cashflow Club stands for, and yet refuse to do the course. And I'm like, wow, you think you're safe with just a job with just a little salary, what, between $5,000 to $8,000 a month, and you happy, you satisfied with that?
Yeah.
And they think that they're okay because they could afford food, but can your salary, is it enough to buy a home?
One of the greatest challenges that we have in poverty is something called financial literacy. You can go all the way up to a PhD and still not understand financial literacy.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And, you know, one of the greatest problems that we have as a society is something called conformity.
Yep.
But then we conform to the wrong group of people.
We just follow the herd.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the herd is going over a cliff right now and everybody is following it without any dialogue or meaningful education.
Yeah.
So it is commendable that you are doing this course, and people are generally afraid to try something new for the first time.
Yep.
Ignorance is a big problem we have in Trinidad and Tobago.
Very, very big.
And there's something I want to coin, which is called innocent ignorance.
Innocent ignorance. That's a new one there.
Yeah.
Innocent ignorance.
And people don't know that they don't know
Yep.
until it's too late.
Until it's too late.
Yeah. But we will try our best with the Home Buyers Association. Our goal is to build 5,000 homes a year for 5 years through the program, and we will get people. We expect to have about 20,000 sustainable jobs created through the organization.
Wow. That is extraordinary.
I've been tracking the housing system for the last 17 years, since 2000. And innocent ignorance, again, by the people in charge of providing housing and homes for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. However, the innocent ignorance kicks in, and they just don't know. But with the First Time Home Buyers Association, when we have 300,000 members in that association, which I would be leading, I think we will be able to see a sustainable change, and we can make some difference in people's lives.
I think that'll have a dramatic change. Very, very dramatic change. Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that we need, that kind of, how to put it, innovation. You know, and that's the whole thing about we entrepreneurs. We are problem solvers. You know, if there's a drought, you sell water. You know, if there's a flood, you sell boats. Yeah. And if there's a plague, you sell coffins. You know, we are just simply problem solvers. And the good thing about this country is, well, bad thing, but the good thing about this country is that you have a lot of problems, a lot of issues to solve. And that's where we come in.
You know, I recently saw this big forum where they are trying to get government-private initiative. It will not work, because if you have to get a piece of land approved, the government is here. Well, we need to have a fast-track system. To get a property approved, it takes you between a year to 5 years to get a piece of land approved.
Wow.
Because town and country is going one direction, regional corporation is going in a different direction, city hall is going in a different direction, Ministry of Health is going in a different direction. So by the time you actually get the property approved for development, then it's 5 years down the road.
Wow.
So you have, the banks will not give any developer a loan unless they have final approvals. So who is kidding who? So these are some of the issues that where innocent ignorance kicks in. And I wonder why the banks don't tell these people at this forum these things will not work unless you have a round table where you would make the issues urgent. And that 5 years from today, if you decide to get a piece of land approved, personally, in 2010, I had a piece of land which was approved. We went back to Town and Country. They said it cannot be approved. So
wow,
there's a lot of ignorance happening.
They probably want you to grease the wheels.
It's a big wheel, so they're throwing a lot of grease.
Wow, Town and Country not easy at all. I have a couple of friends working in there, boy.
And it come back again, we really don't have any real city planners. You take a civil servant, throw them in Town and Country and expect them to know about city planning. So the ignorance is at its highest level now, more than ever.
Wow.
In 2000, the government then promised the IDB to build 10,000 homes a year, of which since then only 18,000 have built, on which 12,000 you cannot give away because there are legal issues with these 12,000 homes.
Wow, what kind of legal issues?
Well, one of the main legal issues is that the state does not have, they didn't transfer the title to HDC. So therefore, most of these homes that have been given out by the HDC doesn't have a deed. So you are paying a mortgage that doesn't have a deed.
Oh, I didn't know that was possible.
Well, innovation is interesting. It can either go positive or negative. But license to occupy, while government after government comes and they are trying, the people don't know the reality and the truth.
How much people you think right now are waiting on HDC to get a home?
Well, the numbers keep changing depending on who it's coming from. The previous minister was saying 300. The CEO for HTC was saying 180, but there's no real hard evidence and data to say what the numbers are. So it can vary between 180,000 to maybe 320,000 applications at the HDC.
That is a lot of people.
And to be distributed among 18,000 homes, of which 12,000 you cannot give away. So I don't know how 6,000 homes will be given out to 300,000 people. Woo. That is some kind of new math I can't figure out.
And no matter what, every new government comes in to try different things and they don't have enough time. 5 years. They, and they get caught up with all the bacchanal that's in politics. And then they have to get re-elected. So they get consistently distracted. And to really solve the problems of this country, this is where you have to rely on entrepreneurship. A business system is superior to a government system. Government systems are slow and bureaucratic.
A lot of people use the word innovation and they don't know what innovation really means. But we have innovation in different systems and in different processes. According to one ex-minister, they use innovation basically for sloganizing. We really use words that we don't know the meaning of. However, the danger is where we have so many people who will be poor. We have 60,000 families living on $2,000 a month in squatter settlements. And program after program, they try, but we don't have real hard evidence to say this is the situation. And if these 60,000 people don't get out of poverty, it becomes a burden on the state. When these people, children doesn't have a good education, they doesn't have a proper address, how are they expected to get a proper job? So the cycle continues, and we have to do something about this. Today, the definition of middle income is between 35 and 40,000 a month. So our middle class has disappeared. Disappearing.
And they don't even know.
They don't
even know. They think they're making a salary of 7 or 8 or 9,000 a month, and they think, wow, I'm middle class, I'm doing pretty well, I have a car, No, you're struggling.
I have an engineer in my class, he's making about 40,000 a month and he cannot buy a home.
Wow, with 40,000 a month.
With 40,000 a month.
Wow. If he comes to Cashflow, I'll teach him how to do it very quickly. Very quickly. So one thing that we teach at Cashflow is that you have to aim to have multiple sources of income. If your salary is too low, and that's the situation of most people out there. I see here a little report here from the Express a couple months ago. Poverty rising. 300,000 people living on $985 a month. 300,000 people living on less than $1,000 a month. That's crazy. So if you're one of these people, or even if you're making between $5,000 to $10,000 a month, you need more than one source of income. In fact, everybody needs more than one source of income.
Definitely. Yeah.
And one thing we defined assets as at Cashflow Club, assets bring money to your pocket every single month, whether you work or not. Liabilities take money out your pocket. So at Cashflow, we teach you to invest in two different asset classes besides paper assets. We're looking at business as an investment, that's my strong suit, and real estate as an investment, and that's Linwald's specialty. That's what you have to invest in, not really paper assets. Paper assets are for your excess money, like stocks. You know, whatever excess you have, you invest in stocks, especially during a recession. You know, but you have to have more than one source of income. You can't get away from it, folks. So reading Rich Dad Poor Dad is a very important step. So we'll be right back with a break, and we'll be back soon. The book Rich Dad Poor Dad has impacted millions of lives worldwide. It is a 6-time New York Times bestseller and written in over 150 languages. The tagline for the book is what the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and middle class do not. We run one of Rich Dad's largest and most active Cashflow clubs. It is a volunteer-run business school that uses simulations to teach investing, finance, and entrepreneurship. Very good. So, as you heard, Cashflow Club is a business school, and we teach not just entrepreneurship, we also teach investing. You have to learn investing along with entrepreneurship. That's the difference we make, and it's something you have to know. As an entrepreneur, you also have to learn to invest. And as an investor, you also have to know about entrepreneurship. Sometimes the roles are mixed. You might be an entrepreneur in one project and an investor in another. Right? So please bear that in mind. Start reading Rich Dad Poor Dad and all the other books. So we are here to take your calls live on here. We're going to give you free business financial advice.
We take your calls now. 625-2759. 623-8255. 624-7729.
All right, good. And for those who didn't hear those numbers properly and you want to zero in on one number, it's 623-8255. That's 623-8255. And we have a caller. Good morning. Welcome to Cashflow Clubs.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm listening to your program. It is very interesting.
Thank you.
At one point, I would like to make to the gentleman who's speaking there, right?
Uh-huh.
There are a lot of houses in Malabar that was left unfinished. People want houses, and these houses are just there in bushes, and who know, bandits might be hiding out in it. Are you going to take part in fixing them so you can distribute it to the poor class people who need them? I'm going to listen to your offer. You have a blessed day.
Thank you very much, caller.
Thank you, ma'am. And that's why we have to come together in the First Time Home Buyers Association and educate the public as to the truth. And once we have the organization, we can help the government with this ignorance that is going on. And we can get these homes into the hands of people that need homes. When you have one house that is distributed or built, you have over 36 jobs that is created or sustained. So it is our intention to help and work alongside with the government if they have this innocent ignorance that they are willing to listen to people who know what is needed to be done. And if we can get these homes into the hands of buyers that need homes, then the whole country will go forward. Rather than you having, and I agree with you, bandits are living in these homes.
My goodness.
They are creating slums, and it's more a liability than it is an asset. We need to get these homes back on track, but we have to do it collectively, and we have to come together as citizens and say, here, enough is enough. For 20 years, 30 years, we've been taking whatever has been given and thrown down our throats, and nobody is telling the government or the ministers of housing. And I've spoken to each one of them, from Dr. Rowley to Danny Montano to Sadiq Baksh to all the ministers, and I invited them to come on my show to discuss housing, and the only one that came was Mr. Sadiq Baksh. Everyone else avoids the opportunity of coming and discussing and having a conversation that is meaningful, so they can tell people whatever they want and say whatever they want, but nobody knows the truth. But it is time that we have a dialogue that is meaningful and that we can do something productive.
Yep.
So the answer to the caller is yes, we will try our best to highlight what are the homes that are sitting vacant, and let's take it to the government and say, why aren't these homes being given out? If you can do it, let us help you and we will do it. Okay, so I hope that answers the question.
So when are you planning to launch this association?
The association will be launched in June, around the 1st of June,
Okay.
2017.
Just make sure I'm involved. I want to be
You are.
involved and see if we could work together to change things and change the direction of this country.
Yeah.
You know, we need this kind of innovation now, a lot more now than ever before, because we're in a recession. So we have to move a little smart now. You know, we don't have the room for this innocent ignorance. We don't have the room for that anymore. Right? So, any callers are there? 6238255.
We take your calls now. 625-2759. 623-8255. 624-7729.
And you can also find us on YouTube at Cashflow Clubs Eastern Caribbean. We have our own YouTube channel there. And of course, the video footage from this radio show will be uploaded onto YouTube sometime tonight after I finish training. So,
Right. I just want to say one thing. For those that listening know, congratulations to your Cashflow Club that is trying to get financial literacy outside there. And there's a saying that we first make our habits, then our habits make us. I remember once on my TV show, I mentioned that savings and investments is a habit. I don't care whether you get a Klimpan, a water bottle, but every Friday make it a habit, or a Saturday, and whatever you have in your pocket, put some money away. And that becomes a habit after a while. And within a year or two, you will see your habits start to change and you start saving. Don't wait until you get a big refund check or you get a big bonus check. But you try to make it a habit of saving consistently, and that is what will make the difference.
okay, and we have another caller. Good morning. Welcome to Rich Dad's Cashflow Clubs.
Wonderful to you, pleasant morning, man.
Hey, same to you, same to you.
I want to find out something from your expert there. The criteria in giving houses, because I know that there are a lot of people who can't pay for the houses. They get it through friendship, they get it through what? And there are people who walk in, have good job, nurses, police, and they need to get some house where you can more or less trace the salary and make a commitment, and these people are not getting, and the people who go in the house, some get in the house and they're living away, and they rented out the house or family, and there's a lot of things. What is the criteria you're normally supposed to use with your expertise in direction to use so people get a house? Because there are a lot of people who are capable drawing nurses' salary or police salary or other civil servants. Why they're not getting houses?
Yep.
Okay, good question, caller. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, we have the official and the unofficial answer. Based on the HDC, I'm sure they're trying their best. However, it has been used as a political tool for a long time. So the criteria, I cannot tell you what the criteria is. I don't work at the HDC. But what I can do tell you is when the association gets started, the organization will take applications and you must attend a 6-hour workshop to basically pre-qualify you, see what your needs are, and see what type of home you can qualify for. Our organization will be going into communities and building houses for the communities, by the communities, and for the unemployed in the area. we will do it different. My suggestion is that HTC get out of housing and become a facilitator and a guarantor to the banks by helping developers to build affordable home.
Oh, that'll make more sense.
Yeah. And I recently did a thesis on that. It's the most intensive research that has been done in Trinidad and Tobago on housing. So we have to find what we call a housing mechanism, financing mechanisms to help bridge the gap between the salaries and the cost of homes.
Nice.
So I cannot tell you what the HTC criteria is. I can speculate, but I don't want to speculate in the air. So
You think most people will be able to qualify for HTC home?
based on the fact that you have the average salary today is $3,000 to $8,000 a month, that is a given. That's the average salary today.
Yeah.
At the HTC, it costs approximately about $1 million to $1.2 million to build a home that they're selling for $300,000 and $400,000. So they are covering a lot of the cost and they're losing a lot of money. So through TTMF, there's a lot of great programs at TTMF. People can qualify for the home. Right now, TTMF have approximately 30,000 people qualified for a home in the 650 to 850 bracket. But the problem is we don't have enough homes that is at that price. So we have to come up with mechanisms where we can specify and target, like the police, the fire service. We have to make special programs for these organizations and groups. But let me tell you something. We have enough land. We have enough resources. We have enough everything in this country to give every qualified citizen a home. What we don't have by the authorities is the will.
Wow. That is a mind blower. Now, financial education is very important. And the more money you make, the more options you have. So even if, again, we reiterate, even if your salary is closer to 15,000, 20,000, it's still not enough. You need more than one source of income. Now, a really good book to read from Rich Dad is a book called The ABCs of Real Estate Investing. For all those that want to become real estate investors, for all those that want to become, home buyers. Of course, you have Linwald's course. What do you call your course?
I call it Perspectives of Real Estate for Trinidad and Tobago. We also have a one-day course, which is for first-time home buyers. So people that are going through the process now of buying a home, it's a big maze when you start the buying process. Because sometimes you go to the banks, they tell you bring this document and wait 2 weeks to bring the other document, and then they tell you need a valuation, then they tell you need a QS report, then they tell you need an outline approval, then they tell you, well, we can't use the outline, but we need a final approval. And they have you going back and forth and frustrating the life out of you. So with the one-day seminar, what we do is we go through the whole process and you learn what is to come next. So we make the buying process much easier for you. Also, you are aware of fraudulent deeds. There's a lot of fraudulent deeds out there today. And unfortunately, it's been created by a lot of the people that was supposed to be protecting you. So I'm speaking from my personal information.
Yeah. Okay, so we are here to wrap this up. Thank you so much, Linwald Beharry, for coming on the show.
It's a pleasure. Right.
Linwald is my personal mentor. For more information on Linwald's one-day program, or for more information on his course, or for more information on Cashflow Club's courses and workshops, take down my personal contact number. It's 768-6761. That's 768-6761. My name is Roger Moore, aka 007. Give me a call me anytime, message me on WhatsApp, stay in touch. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, Raj.